Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 1.33. In this Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is explaining to us one way in which we can maintain Chitta Prasadanam and not be affected by the obstacles or the different afflictions of the mind. So now we've entered into a solution and a problem-solving space, and we're going to understand what this sutra is all about. So let's look at the sutra first and then break it up word by word. I must also tell you that this is a particularly long sutra, so we'll try and chant it twice, and you can pause the video whenever you need to see which one works the best for you. So now let's hear this entire sutra once. It goes, Maitri Karuna Mudito Pekshanan Sukha Dukkha Punya Punya Vishayanam Bhavanatas Chitta Prasadanam. Alright, so that is how the sutra goes. Let's hear it one more time and then we'll move into the meanings. The sutra is Maitri Karuna Mudito Pekshanan Sukha Dukkha Punya Punya Vishayanam Bhavanatas Chitta Prasadanam. Alright, so that is the sutra. Now let's break it up word by word and understand what it's trying to tell us. The first word here is Maitri, and this refers to friendliness or a friendly attitude. The next one is Karuna. Karuna refers to compassion or a deep flowing kindness towards another person. The third word is Mudita, and Mudita refers to joy. The fourth word is Upeksha, which means indifference or just not being bothered by something. And the next set of words is Sukha, which means happiness. Next is Dukkha, which means sadness. And then the next set is Punya, which means virtue or something good. And Apunya, which means non-virtuous or something that is not good. So these are the main words. Now coming to the rest of the sutra, it goes Bhavanatas Chitta Prasadanam. So here Bhavana is referring to something that is done repeatedly to produce a particular effect. So it's something that creates or fosters something. And Chitta Prasadanam is a compound word which means that the Chitta is pleased or has a Prasadanam state. And Chitta, as we learnt earlier, is the consciousness. Prasadanam refers to the kind of consciousness that we've cultivated. And if you remember, in Hindi, the word prasad or refers to sweet or something that we offer to a deity, or when we go to temples, we call that prasad. So prasadanam refers to a very pleasant, sweet and nice experience of the mind. Alright, so now we've understood all the words step by step. Let's now start understanding what this sutra means all together. So the sutra is trying to tell us the 4 virtues that we can cultivate in order to have Chitta Prasadanam or a balanced state of mind at all times. So clearly there are some steps that we need to take in order to do this. And the first is to cultivate friendliness. But friendliness towards whom? Friendliness towards those who have sukha, which means happiness. And this is much easier said than done. I'm sure you've also experienced this, that when somebody else is really happy or they've got something that they've worked really hard for, sometimes within us there rises a tendency to be a little jealous or a little envious of what they have. And a person that is happy might make us feel a little insecure because we feel like we should deserve that happiness and we deserve it. So this sutra is trying to remind us that a person who is happy, we should actually be friends with that person and we should cultivate a friendly attitude towards them because they're doing so well and because we should be happy for them being that happy. And that can only happen when we have empathy, and when we understand that life is tough for everyone. And if somebody has moved a little forward on their journey and is doing something well, then kudos to them for doing that. And we should support it and be as friendly as we can for it. So this part of the sutra reminds us that anybody that's really happy, we should be happy in their happiness and be friendly towards them. The second element of the sutra is now talking about what do we do when somebody is dukkha or dukhi. That means when somebody is really sad or has been hit by unfortunate circumstances. Well, what they usually say is, in such a case, we need to create compassion or karuna in our minds towards that person. And again, this is so much easier said than done, because most of the times when we see somebody else sad or suffering, we kind of feel like, oh, at least thank God it didn't happen to me. Or we kind of feel like, that's not me at least. And we, take our hands off of the situation, and we don't really put ourselves in their position or feel what they're feeling in a way that we can provide them some sympathy and compassion. So what this sutra is trying to remind us about is that anytime somebody is experiencing sadness, say for example an earthquake, a flood, there's so many different, like a tsunami or an event that happens to someone, the best we can do is of course donate, but also find ways in which we can help them and express karuna towards them. And I think this entire pandemic has been a really good example of how we can be compassionate towards other people and take care of the people around us, because everyone's struggling a little bit, and we can do just even small actions can lead to really big moves for somebody else. So that's what this sutra is talking about. And then we come to the third and the fourth element. The third element is telling us that when somebody is joyous and when they have, a really good virtue within them, then even we need to cultivate joy towards them. And again, this is challenging, because imagine somebody in the same field as you, doing the exact same thing that you do and doing really well. Most of the times, again, we would feel, oh, why not me? Why am I not getting this? How are they going so ahead of me? And I think that's because we always view life as a competition. But instead, if we view life as a collaborative space, and we see that, people progressing is great, because there's so much good that the world needs. So the more they progress, the more we progress, and all of us can be abundant together. So when we come away from that lack mentality and we enter into an abundant space, only then can we cultivate mudita towards those who have punya or some virtuous quality. So again, all of these, I have to tell you, are easier said than done. But the more we hear about them, the more we talk about them, we'll be able to cultivate them in some time. All right, so that's the third one. Now, the fourth element over here is talking about upeksha or indifference. So indifference here refers to anything that is apunya or non-virtuous or wicked or evil. And I personally believe there's no such thing as evil per se. It's just that people have different opinions, they behave differently, they do things that they shouldn't do, and that ends up appearing evil to us because we don't understand their circumstances. But anyway, and when something bad like that happens, the best defense we have is to be a little bit indifferent and to understand that, first of all, this too shall pass. And secondly, I don't have to judge the person for what they've done. I can disagree with what they have done without hating them as a person. And I can take steps to reform them or help them in some way without hating them. Because at the end of the day, according to yoga theory, all of us are just Purusha Tattvas within. And so hating someone else is very similar to just hating an element of yourself, because at the end of the day, we all come from that same Purusha element. So once again, I have to tell you, this is very difficult to do, especially when someone's hurt you or someone has wronged you. I can't in that moment come and tell you, hey, you know what, be indifferent, forgive them, because in that moment you're going to want to express anger, you're going to want to express what you're feeling. So each to their own, every one of us reacts differently. But what the Yoga Sutras are suggesting to us is that indifference might be the best way to maintain equilibrium of the mind. And from that perspective, it is true. If you stay indifferent, you are still in balance and you're not creating hateful tendencies inside you. So this is what the fourth virtue is all about, or the fourth element is about. Now, Why is Muni Patanjali explaining all this to us? Because he wants us to be careful of the Chitta Vikshepas or the Antarayas that we discussed in the previous sutras. And so these are sort of 7 different techniques that we are being given in the upcoming sutras, through which we can harness the mind and control it effectively in the right direction. So therefore, this particular sutra is like that master technique, that one technique which is great. You can of course do the upcoming ones as well, but this sort of forms the foundation or the bedrock of having Chitta Prasadanam and just having a joyful state of mind throughout. So this is a little bit about Sutra 1.33. I hope this has given you a good overview of what the sutra is all about. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please do share it with your family and your friends, especially those that are studying yoga philosophy or yoga theory. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, as this really helps us and it shows us your support. Apart from that, we look forward to seeing you in the next video or in our next class or workshop. Links to our classes are in the description, so please feel free to sign up and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We look forward to seeing you now in the next video. Until then, take care, keep practicing, and we're going to see you very soon. Namaste.